What is up guys, Fahan here. Welcome back to another Ultimate review. This is the review of the Yamaha MT series flagship, the Yamaha MT-10. So I've rented this out just to complete the Yamaha MT series Ultimate reviews. Hey Zah, I need to renew insurance. You got any lobang or not?
Well, there's...
Hey look, it's Batsy from Budget Direct Insurance.
Bro, do you know that Budget Direct Insurance offers the cheapest premium for motorcycle insurance, and this is backed by an independent study?
Oh wow!
Buying direct means no agent fees, and it means you save more. You can also tailor your policy to meet your needs and only pay for what you require.
Cool! Everyone loves savings these days.
And on top of that, if your renewal premium with your current insurer is cheaper than theirs for the same level of cover, they will give you up to $80 even if you don't buy.
Wow! Free money just to compare renewal insurance. Awesome, sia!
Wait! There's more! As the official motorcycle insurance for the National Bikers Weekend this November, Budget Direct is giving away a Nets Flash Pay card with $60 stored value to anyone who buys a new comprehensive motorcycle insurance. Plus, you stand a chance to win a full body decal at the event too.
Oh, I'm in! My bike needs a new look.
It's easy to be a biker, no matter what you ride! Solid lah!
Right guys, so let's begin with the riding review of the Yamaha MT-10, and I have to say that I am pretty nervous about these reviews because this bike is really packed with a lot of features, and I fear that I won't be able to cover 100% of it. But there are numerous reviews of the MT-10 online and on YouTube and whatsoever, so you can check it out if you're not satisfied with my review of it lah. So I'll try to cover as much as I can. We'll do our very best as per usual. Okay, so I'm very scared of it. Okay, first impressions when I'm riding it, I'm like, wow, it's really a beast. I know that I've called a lot of machines beasts before, but this is a true beast. You'll see why lah. Okay, I'm gonna sit on the bike now. Oh my god. At the weight of 212 kg and at a ride height of 81.5, I'm tiptoeing quite a bit on the Yamaha MT-10, but I think it's still okay, still manageable for me. Okay, and we got a 17-liter fuel tank over here with a projected range of 270 kilometers. This is according to the spec sheet. However, most of the riders that spoke to about the MT-10, this bike doesn't even go above 200 kilometers lah. Which is really a gas guzzler for the MT-10. But I mean, it's inline for, it's basically a stripped down Yamaha R1. It's basically a naked version of the Yamaha R1, so I wouldn't be surprised if it consumes that much fuel because it's really a sports bike in a naked body. Okay, so pretty scared actually. This bike is really twitchy. Okay, so starting it up, this is a key exposed to a transponder, and you can see the LCD gauge cluster lighting up. Okay, so for the 2022 model, which is the second generation, it uses a TFT display lah. Pushing down the start button. Oh my god. Whew. Alright, so let's get this review started. When I first hopped on it and trying to like moved off from the traffic light, I stalled it a couple of times, and it's a really twitchy machine, so you really need to be careful with the throttle, and you cannot throw out your clutch with the MT-10. And right now I'm in standard mode. This mode is the normal mode, the road mode lah, as Yamaha calls it lah. And it does get up to speed pretty quickly, I must say, but still it's not that cumbersome or overpowering when you're trying to handle the bike in start-stop or city situations lah. 26 cents. Not even 1 hour, man. But I have to say that the handling on the MT-10 is really good. It's a very nimble and agile bike. No, it's not as cumbersome as a Harley or a Cruiser, in which you really have to lean in there to negotiate corners, bends, slow turns. This bike, whenever you're leaning a corner or negotiating a bend, it's really effortless lah. Oh man. And it gets up to speed quickly. You really need to be mindful of how fast you're going on MT-10, because it provides that comfortable ride where you don't even realize that you're speeding with a bike. So even just now, cornering here, already at 47. You don't even realize that you're going that fast, you know. What I like to do is that upon moving off, I half clutch first before I throttle carefully lah. Because I tend to throw out the clutch upon moving off lah. You see, already at 49-50 kilometers per hour, so fast. It's not even 4th gear. And does come with super clutch. Really makes it easy on the hand when you are changing gear. And not only that, it also has quick shifter, but it doesn't have an auto beeper. So you need to off the throttle when you're changing gears lah. Like right now, 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear. And with super clutch, you don't feel that when going at low speeds, you don't feel as if the bike is going to stall when riding at low speeds lah. So it has a couple of riding modes. Right now I'm in standard mode. When I was researching this bike online, when switching the riding modes, especially in mode 1 and 2, it does tend to get a bit twitchy. I don't know if I want to even change modes, but let's try at mode A lah. They call it D mode, which means driving modes lah. Okay, so we're at mode A now. I'm really not sure how the bike is going to respond. Oh my god, it's slightly twitchy. It's slightly more twitchy than in standard mode. And my god, it's like accelerating even faster. The pickup is slightly faster. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're in street mode, so I'm gonna keep it in standard mode lah in the meantime.
The Yamaha MT-10 is a hyper street fighter that was first introduced in 2015 and based on the Yamaha R1 sports bike with different tuning to focus on low to mid-range torque. It is a flagship of Yamaha's famed MT series. More than just a stripped-down R1, the MT-10 features a number of significant technical changes, including newly designed intake, exhaust and fueling systems. In 2022, the second generation MT-10 made its debut with updates to its electronics and cosmetic changes to its front end. Engine is a CP4 cross-plane engine as used on the Yamaha R1, a 998cc liquid-cooled transverse inline 4-cylinder DOHC, 16 valves with fuel injection, and a 6-speed constant mesh manual transmission.
Alright guys, so let's start off with the riding position. Okay, so sitting on this bike right now is this semi-aggressive riding position that is a cross between a sports bike and an adventure bike. Okay, so even though you're sitting upright, you're leaning forward quite a bit, and my legs are following quite a bit, somewhat like this KTM Duke riding position, very similar to a sports bike. But it's still pretty comfortable for me and no issues with the riding position at all. My butt doesn't ache, my back doesn't ache, and I must say it's pretty comfortable. And we have a seat height of 81.5 and 165. As you can see, I'm tiptoeing ever so slightly. So I think for vertically challenged riders, may take a bit of getting used to. And with a weight of 212 kg, you can say it's kind of heavy, but when you're sitting on it like this, the weight pretty much disappears. So I think it's pretty manageable for vertically challenged riders if you ask me. Okay, so let's talk about the design of the Yamaha MT-10. So take note that this is actually the first generation model. It was manufactured from 2016 to 2021. It very much follows the lines of the rest of the MT series design, though it's more beastly, muscular and aggressive. Overall outlook is a hyper-naked street fighter look. However, it's not really a complete street fighter because the front headlight assembly and the cowling does not steer with handlebar. So it's rather a half-flaring design than a street fighter. It's really a reminiscent of the Triumph Street Triple, but it looks more nicer in my personal opinion because the Triumph looks like, I don't know, looks weird, but with the plastic cladding surrounding the headlights, it really gives it a nice aggressive look to the front. And as you can see, giant air intakes by the side over here, with a short fairing below it, gives it a nice muscular look. It's meant to highlight the engine, so it's beefy and basically CP4 cross-plane crank engine is the centerpiece. But for me, I really love the headlight design on the MT-10. Really gives it a transformer look to the bike. But however, do take note that for the 2022 models, the second generation, it sports a different headlight design, slightly more stripped down. Headlights resemble like eyes with an LED strip above it looking like eyebrows. Looks weird in my personal opinion, but it's in line with the current generation of MT series bikes. And also we got to talk about the riding controls of the Yamaha MT-10, and if you're not really keen on all these riding technologies or the buttons confuse you, this is definitely not the bike for you. So there's really a few things that you can toggle on the Yamaha MT-10. Okay, so to the left over here, we got the select button, which is to control the LCD gauge cluster. The TCS control or traction control button, there's actually 3 levels of adjustment: the signals, the horn, and the cruise control button. So you can toggle and set the cruise control and this RES and set button accordingly. Honestly speaking, I haven't really had a chance to try it out, but this is actually to set the cruise control settings. Okay, to the right over here, we got the engine cut-off and starter, and this combination is quite common on Yamaha bikes. I think some of the other manufacturers have also copied Yamaha on this. And also the mode toggle button, okay, and the hazard light. So the gauge cluster has an LCD display, so with some warning lights to the left and right. There's a lot of things that you can toggle with. It shows the time, the tachometer, the speedometer, and currently it's showing the odometer. It also shows you the driving mode that is currently in right now. Currently it's in standard mode, so it displays as STD. And the traction control, is it turned on and off, the fuel gauge, and warning lights to the left and right. So it's really informative, as you can see. And to toggle it, there's a select button on the handlebar control right here. You can toggle between the odometer, trip 1, trip 2, average fuel consumption, and back to the odometer. And once again, there's a lot of riding tech that's being incorporated into the MT-10. So I hope I cover them all. I really hope I cover them all. Okay, so full LED lighting all around, front and rear, signal indicators and everything. Slipper clutch really makes it easy on the hand to change gear. There's also a quick shifter for up only. There's no auto beeper, however. It really operates somewhat like a kapchai. And also it features ride-by-wire throttle and fully adjustable shocks front and rear. Is to adjust for the track and the street accordingly. And I have to say, while riding the bike, when you're cruising down the highway or road, it really provides a nice, comfortable ride. It absorbs most of the road imperfections and impacts. And I really love the suspension on this. Also cruise control, when you turn it on, it only operates while riding in 4th to 6th gear and only above 50 kilometers per hour. And riding modes, what Yamaha calls driving modes or D mode. There's the standard mode, which is a normal ride mode, more of a street kind of setup. And also mode 1, which has a sharper throttle response than standard. Usually this is for on-track performance. And also there's mode 2, which has a more sharper throttle response than mode 1. So once again, it's really for a track kind of setup. I have managed to try it off camera, and I have to say in mode 2 is very, very, very twitchy. So you wouldn't want to ride this bike on mode 2. It's really a beast. And also 3 brake rotors. 2 in the front, 1 in the rear. ABS is standard. I'm not really sure if you can toggle it on and off, but from what I see, there's no button to toggle the ABS. And finally, as I mentioned, LCD gauge cluster. The second generation, which is the 2022 model, uses a TFT display. So horn check for the Yamaha MT-10. To say it sounds similar to the MT-09. Very nice sounding horn. Okay, so let's talk about the price. So this bike is actually brought in by Yamaha Hong Leong. We have not consulted them for this review, so we're not sure how much they're offering for this bike. However, there is one listing, a new 2022 model for 43,388. Okay, there's also a couple of used ones that I found. 2018 model, 25,888. 2019 model, 26,500. For the riding tech and the power that comes with the bike, it's really value for money, I must say.
And the gauge cluster is really informative. So it even reads the temperature of the engine, which is 102 degrees Celsius, and I can really feel the heat of the engine in my inseams right now. So it's really a hot bike, almost on par with the air-cooled Harleys. So it's something you need to live with. I think wearing shoes and wearing long pants is gonna help.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Woo! and despite its weight of 212 kilograms, I don't really feel the weight as I'm riding with the bike. It feels very light as I'm riding, which is why I'm able to corner and negotiate bends really comfortably on the MT-10. I feel as if that the bike is telling me, you know, what are you doing? Why are you going so slow? You know, go faster. Trying to tame the bike right now, guys. And interestingly, I've never went above 5th gear on the MT-10 so far, but we are gonna try to ride on the highway lah. We shall see how at 5th or 6th gear the bike is gonna handle, but I reckon that you don't feel as if the bike is gonna stall because there is super clutch on it. For city riding, MT-10 is not that cumbersome, difficult to handle, and I would reckon that beginner class 2 riders who have never ridden a powerful bike before, such as this will be very good on them. Handling is good, the performance is very good, but you really need to be careful and be in control of the throttle. And I have noticed whereby, you know, as I'm riding around, you know, in Tampines, riders at the stoplight would look at the bike, you know, it's like, wow, this is the MT-10, you know, the flagship of the Yamaha MT series. So if I were to throw out the clutch too quickly, definitely I'm going to stall. So I'm really being careful with the clutch and the throttle. I mean, it does share the same crossplane engine as the R1, and there is a lot of the riding tech that is incorporated on the MT-10 that is similar to the R1. So it's like you're riding a naked version of the Yamaha R1, only that I feel that it's much more manageable, I would think, given that what the reviewers that I've seen online is a mellow version of an R1 with better riding ergonomics. And also, riders have complained that it's a real gas guzzler, 17-litre fuel tank with a projected range of less than 200 kilometers, even though on paper it says it can go up to 220. That's really bad fuel economy, man. Maybe because Singapore, you know, it's city riding mostly, it's stop traffic, so it guzzles more fuel, but it should have more range on the highway. So that's why I think on official specs it can go range of 220, but it's still pretty bad gas mileage you're getting on the... But I mean, with the performance that you're getting with the bike, definitely the fuel economy is going to be compromised lah. You know, as with most of the big bikes, you usually have trouble changing gear or putting it in neutral, especially with Harley bikes, you know. But on the MT-10, because of super clutch, it really makes it easy to put it in neutral. And it's really useful because you don't need to hold onto the clutch when you are at a stoplight or something. So, okay man, don't worry, we're gonna go inside TPE and let's see how you do at 90. Brakes are pretty good. We're getting ABS as standard. I don't think that you're able to turn it off because I don't see any toggle button to turn off the ABS. Woo! We're going with a 5th gear finally. Oh my gosh, guys, even at 5th gear at 90, I feel as if that the bike wants me to go faster. And the strange thing is that you don't feel that you're going at 90. You know, you don't feel as if you're going fast. It's really that smooth and comfortable of a ride when you're riding on the highway right now, and it just wants you to go faster and faster and whack the throttle, but unfortunately we can't lah, of course. Okay, so we're gonna try on the cruise control lah. Oh man, it's so easy. I don't need to do anything. I don't even need to do anything. Really makes it easy on the right hand when you're going touring a long distance, you know. Windshield is kind of low though, which sucks. I mean, you can feel the full force of the wind in your face, your body. So I think there are taller windshields. I just remember that the MT-10 is not really a touring oriented. We got the Yamaha Tracer for that, but that is based on the MT-09, not the MT-10. The MT-10 is
classified more as a street fighter, so it's really more of a sporty street bike with the performance and the capabilities of a sports bike lah. In particular, the Yamaha R1 lah. And man, even at this speed, I can really still feel the heat on my legs right now, my inner thighs especially. Maybe if you go faster, the heat will dissipate lah, but then even at 90, damn, the heat on the engine is really bad lah. But I think highway riding, no issue, maintain speed very well, but I feel that at 90 it can go faster and it wants to go faster. It's not a bike that you'd want to tame. It's really a bike that you'd want to cruise 110, 120, 130, even 200 at the highway, you know. You really have to keep in mind on the speeds that you're gonna go with on the Yamaha MT-10. Yeah, I've already said what I need to say about the MT-10. I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts and conclusions on the bike, and yeah, we will see you guys in a bit. So I've had like one day with the Yamaha MT-10, and I must say that it really surprised me. Like, if you think the Yamaha MT-09 is twitchy, this is even more twitchier. And when I first got on it, I really underestimated this bike. It's really not what you'd expect this bike to be. It's really a monster, it's really a beast. I even stalled it a couple of times while trying to move off. I wouldn't say that I'm having trouble taming it, but it really feels very comfortable riding it at high speeds as opposed to riding at 80, 90. It doesn't want to go slow. It's really a bike that you ride at high speeds on the highway, just unleash it to its fullest potential. I mean, it has the heart of the Yamaha R1 inside, so I can understand how much this bike wants to go fast. Personally, I really love the way the MT-10 handles. It handles beautifully, even in slow traffic, start-stop situation. It's still really manageable. It's not as cumbersome as a Harley or any big bikes in general. Yamaha really did balance out the handling for his bike. I mean, it's a street fighter. It's really meant for the streets. They really engineered the bike in a way whereby it handles really well in the city setting, I would say. But it's really more at home on the highway at high speeds, above 90. Performance-wise, as I said just now, it's really torquey. It's in the name, master of torque. And from what I've seen online, you know, with the traction control off, you can wheelie this thing, but they don't really regard this as a wheelie machine, given the ride-by-wire throttle. Beginner riders will be able to handle this bike. Veteran riders will appreciate how easy it is to tame this bike in city streets. It's a really great handling bike. And with the great handling and traction control and the riding tech that's already built on this bike, I really feel confident, like taking in the corners and leading into it with this bike, I would say. So we've said a lot of good things about the Yamaha MT-10. But now comes the downside lah. This bike is a real gas guzzler. I mean, riding it the whole day with full tank, now left half tank only. Some riders even report that they didn't even make it past 200 kilometers with this bike, even though the spec sheet says that it's able to go up to 220 on a full tank, basically. Maybe it's with the reserve, I'm not sure. And with the gas prices right now, it's not going to come cheap to daily a Yamaha MT-10. And of course, the heat on this bike, I gotta tell you, is almost on par with a Harley. Riding it at 90, you can still feel the heat on your inner shins, and your inseams, and your inner thighs. And start-stop situation, don't get me started, man, don't get me started. You can really feel the heat here. I think for long periods of time, it can get quite unbearable, I would say. And it really takes a bit of getting used to. It's definitely up to the standards of 2022, and with ABS and traction control, I think from a safety standpoint, it has the relevant tech to aid you out in sticky situations. I would say that overall, it's a great balance between the performance of a sports bike with a practicality of a commuter. I'm glad to be trying out the Yamaha MT-10, and this review will officially conclude my review of the Yamaha MT series of bikes. Never thought that I'll be able to review the whole range, with the exception of the Yamaha MT-125, which should be similar to the MT-15. And all of this without Yamaha Hong Leong's help.
That's it for my review of the Yamaha MT-10. I've definitely underestimated it from the start. And it's really unlike any other bike that I've ever ridden. It's a great balance between performance and handling. That's it for the vlog, and we will see you guys in the next one.